time here.
One more minute. 7 o'clock. Good evening, it's 7 o'clock. Tonight is the September 22nd, 2025 meeting of the Worcester Planning and Zoning Commission. We'll have a roll call right now, starting on the left.
Scott Eisenlohr.
Krista Malaka.
John Cooney.
Peter Marshan.
Board of Plat Chairman.
Adam Quaggenworthy.
Charlene Lavoy.
Okay, we have a full board tonight, so we don't sit any alternates. Anybody want anything on the agenda review?
Mr. Chairman, one item, we would like to add discussion about cottage food licenses and farm carts on the side of the road. If we could add that under new business as 6B.
Okay. Any public comment? Anybody have anything to say other than what's on the agenda?
Do we need to make a motion to amend the agenda?
The chairman can do it himself, but if you want to do a motion, that's fine.
Okay, let's make a motion to change the agenda and add the cottage food under
6B.
6B.
Second.
All in favor?
Unanimous.
So now we have public hearing. We're going to continue it. This is a continuation of the previous meeting for PZ-25-15, applicant Scott Davis, location 142 Main Street. Proposal special permit to construct 2 residential units on the first floor of a former commercial space and 2 residential units on the second floor for a total of 4 residential units. And how are you tonight?
Tired.
Tired?
We had to do most of the stuffers. Can't get out there.
Just hit the mic button on the, where it's red. Yep, so it turns green, yep.
No.
Thank you.
I have 3 invoices if you want to see part of the stuff that's done.
Sure, one of mine.
We'll need to keep those for the records.
No, these are for you.
Okay, very good.
No, yeah, he told me that.
Okay.
That's for the dumpsters that I've been using, so that goes tomorrow. They're gonna pick it up tomorrow.
Okay.
That was for the gutters, we paid them, they went up there and did it. And this
Okay.
one was the one we got for the fence. He wasn't gonna do it till latter October, so that's why we're doing it ourselves, but you can see the quote, it's crazy.
Yeah. So you're doing the fence now yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I got a picture of it.
Okay.
Some of it's up already.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was
I mean, that's the
down-
last thing we gotta do.
I was down there this afternoon, and I didn't see the fence. I saw the post.
No, we just put them up.
Oh.
Now, that's where I came from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I took a photo. Well, you went by and saw it with the fence.
Yeah, I saw you out there working, posted this afternoon.
No, I mean, we did the new part already.
Mhm.
So we're gonna work on the other part tomorrow.
Look at those.
And what's the plan for the car?
It goes tomorrow.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I can't get it out with the dumpster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, they know that. It's taken out tomorrow with the dumpster.
Okay.
The dumpster goes in the afternoon and the car's following.
All right. And you're gonna put a new enclosure around your trash container there?
Yes,
And it's gonna be all 4 sides?
yeah.
Okay. And you're gonna leave it in that spot, or you're gonna move it
I'm
somewhere?
gonna leave it right there, that's
Leave
good.
it right there? Okay.
Yeah, because they come every Friday, so.
All right. And you do know that the requirements for the fencing, you've
Yeah.
gotten that from the board?
Yes.
From land use, okay.
But I gotta talk to the people picking it up too, because they have certain, you know what I mean, if it's not done to their specifications, they won't, you know what I mean, they have a
Yeah,
hard time.
they
with
need
it.
a certain width and
Yeah,
depth
exactly,
to get their
yeah.
dumpster and have
Right,
room to
right.
maneuver.
And it's gotta have a swinging gate on it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's see, what else was there we looking
Yeah, I
at,
got the list. that we
well, you
had.
got most of the stuff removed from the front, I saw.
Yeah, so all
That was
the, yeah,
Josh's
all
list
this, yeah, all this stuff is gone.
That's what Jeff had.
The rain gutters are done, all the tools, everything's out of there. The vehicles are gonna be dead. I cut the trees.
Sign posts are down from the sign, old sign, I noticed that.
What's that?
The upright posts for the old sign are
Oh,
gone.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, in the awning, it's gone, yeah. But I trimmed the trees I cut down, there was a dead one there, I cut that down. So, and all that stuff's done.
I saw that somebody was like tearing up the patio area or something. I thought I saw people doing something on that one day when I went by. Or was that?
No, there's nothing on the,
Taking the fence down.
oh,
probably.
you mean the old fence?
No, no.
That was a while back.
It's like where the there was a patio there, when the restaurant, was the restaurant?
Right.
Was that hard surface or was that soft?
No, it's all brick in there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's staying?
I think the patio is in good shape.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a good.
And it's a nice area. I think, you might be referring to that asphalt got tore up on the south side of the garage.
Oh, okay, maybe that's what I saw.
Yeah, no, we jackhammered the whole thing and then we put down, topsoil and then we covered it with straw. I mean, we put this grass seed down and covered it with straw. Yeah, that's all set.
And there's not gonna be any parking allowed on that?
No, they can't park on
You're gonna put something there to stop them from parking? Like a bumper or something?
there. Well, no, I mean, there's the 6 places out front, that's
Oh,
where they
so
would
nobody,
park.
I've seen vehicles down around the side a lot when I've gone by. So, all right, so
Yeah, I mean, no, there's 6 out front, there's no one's going in the back there.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
They have plenty of places,
so you.
because I think there's only, what is 1, 2? I mean, 2 of them don't even have vehicles, there's only, there's only 2 vehicles.
Okay,
One guy, the truck upstairs, and the guy has a truck downstairs, that's it.
all right.
Yeah, the other 2 don't even have vehicles.
Well, you're gonna have some, well.
Yeah, I mean, if there was
You might
different,
have future tenants with you.
no, that's what I'm saying, but then we have the 6 spaces already marked out,
Okay,
right?
and you looked at that today, Adam?
Yeah, I drove by and looked at it. As far as it, so the dumpster enclosure is gonna be back where it was, up on the upper parking lot in the center.
Yes,
That's the best place for it.
yes. That's
That
what
where
they
it is?
wanted too,
Not where it is now?
yes.
Yeah, that's where it is now.
Oh,
But
okay.
that's what they asked for,
Yep.
you know, the people that are dumping it, they said that was the best place for it also.
Okay,
And with 4 sides, it probably won't be as, it would look better, it'll look better with 4 sides on it.
well, it has to be something matching.
I was looking at that, like, where is the best place for this dumpster? Probably not right next to your neighbor. And to avoid putting it right center, dead center in that parking area. But if we're okay with that, I don't object. I also offered up possibly where parking spot 1 is, it is like 2.5 times deep for a car. Maybe the dumpster could go in the front there, but then it's right next to the house and I'd be wary of odors for the residents. So I have no qualms with the position of the dumpster, I just want to provide my comment on that. For parking spaces, there's 6 on the site plan. I thought our regulations require 1.5 per a unit, so you have 4 units, that makes 6. And an additional quarter for guests per unit, so you need to, in a site plan, you need to at least have 7 parking spots right now, unless there's a.
No, if I can, town center zone, actually, there's a call out that there's no off-street parking required in the town center zone.
Okay.
So this
Yeah.
is exempt from
Thank
that
you.
as a
Yeah.
result of that.
Yeah, there's nothing in the town center, there's no requirement.
They only told me that I needed 6.
Okay.
Yep.
Appreciate removing the asphalt and providing green space for residents.
Yeah.
I did, and the fence looks good too. I saw you poured concrete in for footings too, around those posts. I noticed it's a dead ash tree, it is quite large, trunk, but it's mostly on.
Yeah, it's on his property, the next door.
On the adjacent property, it is leaning your way.
No, I know, that's why we
Yeah.
trimmed all the top off. I
Yeah.
mean, I could have said something to him, but we paid for it
Yeah.
and trimmed it.
Actually, I pulled into his parking area and asked him if he wouldn't mind if I parked there and take a look at, from the lot from his side. And he spoke to me and he was asking, it almost seemed like he was open to figuring out who owns the property and then decide what you guys can do with the tree together. I'm not sure if we can help facilitate facilitate that, but it's not contingent. You know, this permit would not be contingent on that. But if that tree does fall, I believe it's going to land towards your way.
No, I don't, I'm supposed to warn him about that, right? Right. No, I've talked to him about it. I go, it's basically about 3/4 on your side and 1/4 on my side. Yeah.
That's where a little friendly neighbor conversation comes
Yeah.
up. and-
Oh, no,
Offer
they're
to share
good.
the
No, I mean,
costs.
we've been talking to them. You know, they see us out there every day,
Yeah,
so.
That'll probably land on the patio if and when it does fall. So hopefully you guys can work that out.
Yeah.
Fence. And I think, lastly, is just a site plan. That we want to have the details, these changes on the site plan. I don't mean to wrap things up if anyone else wants to talk.
we can require the site plan
Okay.
to be
And that's,
submitted
I
after.
think that's in the draft motion there, I think, but.
But I just gotta show the additional fencing, right? That's what you need on the revised site plan?
The original site plan had,
Here, I got it here.
You put it up
yeah,
here? What's up, Willie? On the,
yeah, did it show asphalt over on the side?
yes,
Yeah, so you now have removed that asphalt, so that,
to show the changes.
So
to
if you,
show the changes, yeah.
if you want, what I can do is go through the draft motion that we put together.
Yeah.
The conditions specifically, I can read those out to you if that's helpful, or, you know, however you
Okay,
wanna do it.
let's see if everybody else has any more questions.
I have just have a few comments, but if anybody else has questions.
I was gonna ask about the site plan, 'cause I thought at the last meeting we were talking about, the last meeting before the last meeting.
Did you have something, Rachel?
Yeah, I was just looking for my notes. I believe we had some comments at the last meeting about this being a change to residential in the downtown, downtown area where we really do want to keep it commercial. So I just wanted to kind of address that for the record, and, generally I would completely agree with the comments that were made. I do think it's very important that we keep ground level spaces open for commercial and really encourage residential on the second and third floor. That really adds to the vibrancy of main streets and downtowns. In this case, the building is set further back from Main Street. It is a very residential historic building. I think it would need quite a bit of change to the facade even, and the character of it to become commercial, unless it became an Airbnb or something like that. But and even in that case, that would be residential and could easily still be used if their demand was there. I did really take some time and look at the neighborhood. There are other houses right in that block that are residential houses, so it's not out of character. And I do think that it would be, in my opinion, appropriate to change this to residential, fully residential. But I don't think this is normal and not something that we would really want to encourage on Main Street. But because of the factors, the situation, the previous uses, the way it's situated, the block of Main Street that it's in, I think taking all that into consideration, I think this would be, in my opinion, an appropriate change. I just kind of wanted to document that for the record.
Yeah. And also, the changes we're making, it won't preclude it being converted back to commercial. And also the history of that as a commercial building will remain there, and so be it like the economics change, and you get commercial space back in there and revive what it once was. I think it can still happen.
Scott, anything?
I'm good.
Charlie?
I'm good.
So, just one quick question. We are allowed to go forward without the updated site plan?
We can require the site plan to be submitted as part of the,
Was that what you were saying earlier?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Nope.
no,
I'm suffering
That's
from
good.
allergies. I can't hear that great right now.
that's,
All right,
and,
that was all I had.
And that's in here?
It is, yeah, and whenever you're ready for it, I can read you the
so
existing.
now, Jeff had a whole list of blight things. Have
Yep.
they all been taken care of?
He took pictures.
Yeah, they're being worked on. We do have some updated photographs, but I want to warn you that you can't condition your approval on the blight violation. Those are two separate issues. So the owner's been working with Jeff and getting the site up, up to date
Yeah,
here. And
everything's gone.
yeah, okay. And that's, I did talk to Jeff today, and he's pretty satisfied on where you are at this point. So with the site plan conditions and the piece, the fence and the removal of the asphalt and, those types of things, you can condition it all you want, but you can't condition it based on the violation that's out there.
And all the, was there any hoods for the stoves and everything that were in the building? Or are they all gone?
Yes.
Okay, they're all gone?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So, if nobody else has any questions, I guess we can close the public hearing. I'll make a motion to close.
I'll make motion close public hearing PZC 25-15.
Before you do that, and I'm sorry to interrupt you,
Yep.
but before you do that, what I'd like to do is make sure that you all are on the same page with any conditions of approval, because you gotta do that during the public hearing.
Okay.
And then, sort of make sure that the applicant is on board and then condition it once the hearing is closed during your motion.
Yep.
So,
I'll withdraw my motion.
okay. So the things that we wanted to capture, and again, I just want to make sure that we've got this right. Prior to the issuance of building permit, the applicant shall submit a revised site plan to be reviewed and approved by town staff, which includes the following changes. If the dumpster is to remain, the applicant shall submit a detail of the dumpster enclosure compliant with section 41534 of the Winchester zoning regulations in a revised location to be reviewed and approved by town staff. Sounds like the location is, everybody's content with the existing location, so we're not gonna change that at all, right?
Yeah, if that's where it's traditionally been picked up and that's what they recommended, I think we're good with that.
Okay, so we'll take that out.
Well, it was more about the enclosure.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
it's more
okay.
about the enclosure, making
Yep.
sure it's high enough, it's uniform, not piecemealed up. It's
That is
one uni-
reviewed by and
Yeah.
approved by town staff.
Yep, so this includes, he needs to submit a detail to Jeff for review, and then once it's approved, it goes on that final site plan that gets submitted.
Jeff, can I ask a question before, this is prior to the issuance of a building permit. At the last meeting, they talked about the building department and the fire department have already done all their inspections and looked through, and he's done all work for it to be compliant.
So certificate of occupancy then?
That's what I thought.
Okay.
Maybe,
Yeah,
it
I
looks
think
like
certificate of
permit might have already
occupancy.
been
I'm
issued.
good with
Because,
that.
I mean, he needs permits to do the dumpster enclosure, the fence and things like that, so he would need building permits to do that stuff. So I think it would be a certificate of occupancy.
Okay. Okay. See, that's why we're doing this now while the hearing's still open. Applicant shall remove the existing fence around the patio on the east side of the property, replace it with a new fence starting at the southeast corner of the building, continuing easterly to the property line, then turning northerly and running to the northeast corner of the property, then turning westerly to meet the northeast corner of the garage. So let me show you visually what we mean by that. This fence around the patio comes down, which I know it already has. New fence in its place along this section over to the property line, running north along the line, and then coming back around to the garage.
Okay, cool.
Are we
That's
all,
what you're doing
everybody
now?
on board with that? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, just the top part, I mean, it's, right up against the other fence there.
Okay,
I don't know about, like, coming across doesn't make any sense.
okay.
Yeah, because of the wall there.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
there's a
that's
wall, yeah,
There's
yeah,
a wall
okay.
there next to the
Well,
garage.
there's a
so-
stone wall
Yep.
and there's
Right.
their fence, I mean,
Right,
it would make
exactly.
no sense.
All right, great, so
Yeah.
we'll remove
Okay.
that.
So it's just to the corner.
Yeah, going
Yes.
back to the property
Yeah.
corner,
Okay.
basically.
Asphalt area to the east of the garage shall be removed and reclaimed as lawn for passive recreation in accordance with 41547E. So again, visually, we're talking about this area, and it sounds like you've taken this out already and
I took it out.
removed that, yep, okay. So we're playing catch up to some extent. A lot of this stuff got done over the weekend, which is great, but we're gonna keep it in there as a condition anyway.
Boy, you were busy.
Oh, yeah.
A lot in 2 weeks. Looks a lot better.
Yeah.
And then, prior to the issuance of a CO, all vestiges of prior commercial uses shall be removed from the property, including but not limited to the signposts in the south, Main Street facing lawn, barber pole at the rear of the building, awning and frame over the entry steps. It sounds like it's already gone.
Those are gone.
Okay, all right. Any other conditions that you all feel are necessary?
And the gutter thing and those issues
Yeah,
were
you got
addressed.
the receipt.
Right,
They-
okay.
you know.
Those are all blight
So
issues.
you
Yeah, that's
All
all
right, so
blight
it's-
issues,
Those
so
are
we
blight
can't.
issues.
yeah,
Gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
So now we were looking at building permits and being inspected and everything.
Yep.
Fire marshal's been there.
Fire marshal's been
But
there.
he was there as fire marshal, was he there as housing inspector?
Looks like both, and I'll pull his letter up on the screen for you. April 22nd, he inspected 142 Main for a 4-unit apartment building for annual fire code inspection, found several violations. May 27th, he re-inspected. Violations were repaired, and it met the minimum requirements of the state fire safety prevention codes. And then on August 8th, he says that it met the, he was there for the biannual housing inspection per Winchester Property Maintenance Code. At the time of inspection, there were no violations. So that's just a little over a month ago. So we're in good shape there. Okay, so if everybody's good with those conditions, now you can make your
I'll
motion.
make a motion to close PZC 25-15,
I'll second.
public hearing. No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so now we will go and, under old business, we will take up PZ-25-15, applicant Scott Davis, location 142 Main Street, special permit to construct 2 residential units on the first floor and a formal commercial space and 2 residential units on the second floor and a total of 4 residential units. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Oh, wait, you got to read that.
Right, we have to,
Can't make any approval till you read a draft
Oh, I gotta
motion.
read
With
this.
the conditions, and do you wanna read the modified conditions?
They're all here on the written.
But we just made some changes to them.
All right. To approve applicant 25-15 special permit applicant owner Scott Davis, address 142 Main Street, proposal special permit to construct 2 residential units on the first floor and a formal commercial space and 2 residential units on the second floor for a total of 4 residential units. In evaluating, the Planning and Zoning Commission has relied upon information provided by the applicant and in such information subsequently proves to be false, deceptive, or incomplete or inaccurate, this permit shall be modified, suspended, or revoked. This application is consistent with the town's plan of conservation and development. The application meets the criteria and standards for section 415-24D special permits, special exceptions. With the following conditions, prior to issuance of the certificate of occupancy, the applicant shall submit a revised site plan to be viewed and approved by town staff, which includes the following changes. If the dumpsters remain, the applicant shall submit a detailed dumpster enclosure compliant with section 415-34 of the Winchester zoning regulations. The applicant shall remove the existing fence around the patio on the east side of the property and replace it with a new fence starting at the southeast corner of the building, continuing easterly to the property line, then turning northerly and running to the northeast corner of the property. The asphalt area in the east of the garage shall be removed and reclaimed as lawn for passive recreation in accordance with section 415-47.e. Prior to the issuance of the certificate of occupancies, all vestiges of prior commercial use shall be removed from the property, including but not limited to the signposts in the South Main Street facing lawn, barber pole at the rear of the building, and awning frame over the front steps. And I think that is it. So, all in favor?
There's no page 2.
There is
Nothing after that?
yeah, it's just the
no,
signatures.
signature page.
So what I'd ask you to do is just do a roll call vote, if you wouldn't mind, please.
Because we can't sign the original.
Because we can't sign the original, yes. So if you want to just start with Adam and.
Sure.
Adam Cloveroli, I approve.
Robert Platt, Chairman, I approve.
Peter Marchand, Vice Chairman, I approve.
John Cooney, I approve.
Krista Malonka, I approve.
Thank you.
It's a long road, but we got there.
So what does it mean now?
It's approved.
Oh, okay, so I can go, I can
Talk to
tell
Jeff,
the
he'll
buyer,
give you the zoning approvals.
Yeah.
what's that?
Talk to Jeff, you need a site plan
Yeah,
showing the changes where the asphalt was removed.
yeah.
And the
And
new
then-
fence. Yep.
And finish your fence, get Jeff to approve that, and you gotta come in with the,
new
what you're
site
gonna
plan.
do for the dumpster enclosure.
To get that approved by Jeff.
And get
yeah.
that approved, and then once everything is approved and run by Jeff, then he'll sign off, and then you'll be good.
So I just want to know, if I can tell the buyer that he can start going ahead with his,
Yeah, the office
oh
will.
no, I'll put it this way, like, if the appraiser goes down to town records, it will not be showing a four-family yet, then.
We'll be showing what?
Will it be approved for a four-family if he goes down to town records? The
Probably
appraiser,
It'll take a day or
little
two
bit of time.
before it gets on the town records.
I mean, from today, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I
Yeah.
want to know.
I would wait till
So-
next week.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Make
plenty of
sure.
time, because he's got to, but I can tell him to start with the
Well,
bank.
Well, wait,
I think-
will it get on the town record before
Well, it's gonna
the-
take a little bit more time than that.
Yeah.
The office has to issue the approval letter, then you have to take and file the special permit. And then once that special permit's filed, then that information will get transferred over to the assessor's office, and then the records will get updated. So it takes a little bit of time. The office will reach out to you, if not tomorrow, within the next couple of days. We'll give you all those instructions on what to
Oh,
do.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But will
But
that
you have to
happen?
get the survey updated.
Yeah, I was gonna say, will
Right,
that
I'm gonna
happen
talk to him.
And then
without
the-
the site plan being?
The survey needs to get done before the certificate of occupancy.
Right.
So the approval goes out with the conditions on it. Then when you're all done and you're ready to get your CO, then we need that updated site plan. So that's why the office will be in touch with you on next steps.
All right, all right. So on the site plan, he's just got to show the fence and the asphalt removed
And the
Yeah,
dumpster.
And the dumpster.
and the
Yeah.
dumpster?
Enclosure.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell him
Should the site plan show what he's gonna do for the enclosure?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, it
so
should
you-
have the detail of what the enclosure is. So
that. It's just going to be a gate.
that's fine, but
But
you know,
it's gotta be on
whatever,
four sides.
all four sides, whatever kind of fence you're using and whatever kind of
What's
gate.
there
you
now
want.
really doesn't match.
Oh, okay.
It's one fence on the bottom with another fence on top. So it should be a matching thing all the way around.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Very good. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
thank
Good luck.
Okay. Interesting, we doing everything electronically today. Under new business, CGS 8-24 review, location 52 White Street, proposed sale of town-owned property.
Town manager referred this over to you all, I think last week he sent a letter. This is property that town owns on the corner of Nanny Drive and White Street, and it's, you don't have a copy of my staff report, but there's
Yeah.
two parcels, oh, good for you. There's actually, it looks like three on the map. It's two parcels side by side that were taken in foreclosure, I don't remember exactly when, maybe about 10 years ago or so.
Yeah,
Maybe more than that, yeah. It's been a while.
Was there a structure on there?
There was, so at least as early, I guess the most recent aerial that I can see a house at number 52 was 1970. What happened after that, those of you with history in the town would know better than I.
Yeah, it's completely
But
overgrown now.
Yeah, it's gone, and the foundation's still there.
Right.
It's an old stone,
You can
it's
see
an
the
old
stone
fieldstone
foundation, but it's
foundation, that's about all that's
overgrown
left.
now, yeah.
But 1970, the house is there. By the time the 86 aerial comes along, it's gone. It's two parcels. The southerly one has the street address of 52 White Street. The northerly one is actually bisected by Nanny Drive. The town has been approached by someone who's maybe interested in the property, and as part of a sale, as you all know, you've been through this a million times, the town has to go through you to sell any property, to get a review under 824, and then it'll get listed on the MLS, and they'll take any offers they get, and Board of Selectmen will do what they need to do. So for your purposes, we needed to review the sale for consistency with the Plan of Conservation and Development. And I'll pull up the site, my staff report in a minute, where I talk about a couple of sections of your POCD that I think are pertinent.
And what's the zone there?
The zone here
Town
is,
single family, I believe.
I think that's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yes. It's all that, Nanny Drive area is town single family.
Have those lots been joined at all? There's still two separate lots?
So they've not been joined. It looks
I'm
like
gonna
there's.
say the three lots, but I mean,
Yeah, it's on the deeds, it's that northerly one, like I said, is one lot, and it has an easement running through
I
it for
see.
Nanny Drive.
okay.
It'll be the buyer's responsibility to clean up any title issues, there are some title issues there, to survey the property, to join the properties into one. So this will all get worked out as part of a purchase and sales agreement between the town and the potential buyer, and I suspect a potential buyer is not gonna want that skinny little strip that's north of Nanny Drive, so that'll probably get merged into the Nanny Drive right-of-way or just left as is. I mean, that's, to some extent, that'll
There
be
was
worked out
something you
between the
said
town and them.
might be used for the town to access some drains in there?
Yeah, so there's a pretty large drainage swale that runs down through these parcels. It actually starts up here on
Goes up
Wallen
on Wallen
Street
Hill,
and then
right.
runs, actually, if I turn on the base map,
Starts
you
with
might be
that
able to
vacant
see
lot,
it.
that big, long, thin lot that the town owns on Wallen's Hill, on Wallen Street, where the drainage
Yeah,
starts.
that's right. And you can kind of see it in the aerial. It runs right down through here and through that 52 White Street parcel. Again, as part of a sales agreement, the town is going to require some kind of an easement there, so a potential purchaser will have to grant the town an easement in
Did
the
we already,
survey
did the town
process.
already have one?
There's
Is
no
there?
easement on file there.
Okay, so
that we've seen.
that thing was just there, that culvert?
The
or
town
that-
owns it,
Yeah,
Oh, the town owns it, right, it took
the
it,
town owns it.
they don't need
right.
an easement.
right. No, they
So
took
we'll
it
have to
years
do
ago.
that,
Well, I
right.
mean, they took it by foreclosure, right?
Yeah, but was the drainage there before the town took it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Most likely. I mean,
I would say
you know,
so.
and I think it's probably, I mean, it's hard to tell because there's been so much construction and this whole area is developed, but, you know, there's probably some historical, natural feature there. You know, there's probably always some kind of water flow through that, especially the way that gully's carved out.
Yep.
It's not entirely man-made. It goes into a culvert underneath Nanny Drive and then winds its way down to the river at some point over here. So, you know, keeping that side of the street is probably a good thing for the town so that they've got access to the other side of that culvert. And then, of course, over here, we'll need an easement for that.
So is that then
drainage ditch as
separated
well.
out from this request?
It's not at this time because it's all under one deed.
Right, I see.
And I think what I would suggest to you all is, you know, if you find it consistent with your POCD, you know, we could put in there a recommendation that that portion north of Nanny Drive be retained by the town, that an easement be retained by the town surrounding the drainage ditch, and anything else that the commission feels is pertinent. I'll pull up, I had some language in my report to you, so give me a moment and I'll pull that up on the screen. As we discussed, that's the parcel. It's about 2.5 acres if you take out that slice north of Nanny Drive.
Where would the driveway be if that's gonna be?
It would come off of White Street, because you know, it looks like a fair amount of property that's along Nanny Drive, but when you're down here in person, it's really not, because that gully crosses right about here. So there's really not enough room to come in between the intersection of White Street and that gully to get into the property. The old driveway, I think, for the old house was somewhere around where that property line is, because if I'm remembering correctly, the stone foundation's right about in here.
Looks like it.
Oh, now you did it.
Ah, yeah, looks like you might have done the driveway right there.
That might be right, Willie. Yep, that might be right. So anyway, so yeah, you'd have a White Street driveway. There, you know, and there's a little bit of an embankment here along White Street, but there's also a little bit of an access in through this area where cyclists and ATV riders and whatever else have gotten
So
into the
that gully
property over
doesn't
the years.
limit access? There's
No.
other ways to go?
No, there's a couple different places you could easily get a driveway in there. In terms of the POCD, I took a look at a couple of things. You've got a couple of goals in there: enhance the housing stock downtown and attract median and higher income households. It's on page 7.5. You know, selling this off and redeveloping it as housing would, you know, sort of meets that goal, especially if it's a single family, which I think is what the goal would be. It would be very difficult to develop this property into anything more than one or maybe 2 lots, considering the big drainage gully there, and you'd have a really hard time getting anything else in there. Second goal, enhance the high-density downtown neighborhoods. While this isn't downtown, it is on the edge of downtown. Again, adding additional housing stock, new housing stock, fresh housing stock works toward that goal. Those are the 2 things that I picked out from your POC that I thought were in line with this. Again, it was a residential piece for years until it was purchased, I think, as part of the development along Nanny Drive, and then was lost in foreclosure to the town. So it's not out of character for it to be developed for residential use over there.
So you mentioned there early on that Nanny Drive is an easement going across that property?
It's unclear.
Okay.
So there's a right of way that runs through there, and that's why it shows up. And that's what I mean. There's some title issues that the future buyer will have to straighten out.
I started going down that rabbit hole reading those titles, and it's very, very confusing.
Right. You know, so I suspect that this northern portion was purchased for the purpose of running Nanny Drive through it, and then how that all played out over the years and what those deeds look like. I'm not a deed expert, and I'm not going to pretend to understand it. But there's some title issues that need to be straightened out, and so, you know, in doing that, we'll make sure that Nanny Drive, the right of way for that, is preserved, and whatever needs to happen with the parcel on either side of it, we'll get straightened out.
So can we recommend the sale of this property, listing it, the town keeping the northerly piece, selling the 2.5 acres together?
Yep.
And preserving the easements.
Yep.
Well, at this time, are they only interested in 52, the southern property, or are they asking for both those properties?
So the town would be listing them at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's one parcel.
And I mean, really, with the way this, it doesn't show it here. I mean, I guess I could turn on, I think they're 10-foot contours. It really doesn't do it justice. This parcel here, this one that's on the corner of Nanny Drive, is really probably unbuildable. The gully is wide at that point. It's got, you know, it's got the culvert ends in it. Access in, it gets really steep on this interior portion. You know, could it be built on? Maybe. But really, the 52 White Street is the parcel that it is going to be. That's the developable portion.
Aside from the commercial building to the north, are there all other adjoining properties residential? And
They're all residential.
And have
Yep.
structures?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a home across the street. I'm not sure if it's single family or multi, and all of these are residential, and that's
All residential?
Yeah, it's all residential.
And are
Except for the
developed?
northerly piece with
Fairchild. Yeah,
Right.
Fairchild.
Right. Yeah.
So, I can make a motion if you want.
Can I just ask a question? So how are they gonna be listed? Like, you said the northern one more than likely couldn't be built on? How would
Yeah.
they list something like that for sale?
You know, I'm gonna let the Board of Selectmen and whoever they work with for listing it
Realtor,
figure that
yeah.
out. That's
Yeah.
not my
Well,
problem,
I'm
but
a
you know,
real-
I think.
I'm a realtor, so that's why I'm asking that question. If I
Well,
were
they
looking
can-
at that listing.
Before they even do it, they can join it. The town can,
The town could join it, or they'll list them as, for sale together.
To be sold as.
They're
joint.
all on one deed right now. If you read that foreclosure deed, and I think I included that with the staff
Yeah.
report, it's all one foreclosure deed. So in some ways, they're already linked. I mean, you could unlink them because they have two separate parcel numbers. It's, but
And because of the road, can't the assessor subdivide
yeah,
the property?
yeah. So I think the way that'll ultimately get listed is that they're for sale together, and that the town will entertain offers for the purchase of both of them. And then, like I said, any purchase sales agreement's going to have,
So, for the lower portion, it would be grandfathered in that that's a buildable lot?
No,
this larger piece, you mean, to the
Right.
south?
oh, the larger piece, yeah.
Yeah, the lower,
It meets all of the zoning criteria to be constructed on in that zone. So it's not even a grandfathering situation, it's a
just meets
buildable lot.
everything.
It meets
Yeah, it meets-
everything for our
Meets all the
regulations.
criteria for size.
Big enough, wide
Based
enough,
on
deep
the
enough.
single-family zone, I mean, it's way
And
larger than needed.
a waterway wouldn't affect that,
No, there'd be some wetlands permits most likely towards the rear of that
right?
development, whatever gets built back there. Somebody going in for a house is probably gonna end up needing a wetland permit because of the proximity, but that's about it.
Right.
Yeah, could be.
That's all.
It's actually relatively level. This sort of front triangular piece, I mean, there's a little bit of an incline here. I walked it last week. It's relatively level and gentle grades heading north until you get to the gully, and then it drops off like a rock. And then the other side's real steep coming back up.
So, if we were to approve this, I feel we need to identify exactly what we're talking about. So that drawing that you had sent out in the email that had those two lots colored in.
Yep.
I think we should include something like that with our approval. That right there.
Okay.
And then spell out that like you did in your narrative there, that the upper piece be retained for the town to service the drains.
Well,
If that's
so-
everybody's,
I was thinking something, a motion, something along the lines of a favorable report, 8-24, request, as it's consistent with the plan of conservation, with the recommendation that the town retain all necessary easements to protect the drainage, which may include, not selling the northern part of that northern.
North of Nanny Drive?
North of Nanny Drive. 'Cause,
The other side.
yeah,
North of Nanny Drive, basically.
so, or something along those
Well,
lines.
it's identified, yeah, okay, right.
The small portion north of Nanny
Yeah.
Drive.
Mm-hmm.
and give the selectmen the opportunity to say what they want to say.
Yeah, it's our recommendation that you probably need that to protect the drainage,
Right.
you know. And I think that was both of your conditions, right? Looking at your thing, they were both around and I think, I don't have a copy of the plan of conservation development right on me, do I? I might, hold on. Because I'm sure there's something in there about protecting.
Got it?
Is that a stream or is that just a drainage ditch?
Like I said, I think it's a little of both. Yeah, there was some water running through there when we were out there last week, and it hasn't rained it hasn't really rained in 2 months. So I think there's some level of it that's natural.
Yeah, it's definitely not an intermittent stream, it's,
No, it's got water in it.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's a
constant.
small trickle
Yeah.
right now, but it's pretty constant, you're right. But a lot of what it does is convey stormwater from the Wallen Street and all those neighborhoods behind there.
And, I just had it.
Want to get Pete to put some tabs on there.
To just do.
I'm just impressed he even had it.
We need to get you all laptops with the virtual version so you can just
I
What do
do
you
the
think,
know.
research.
Krista, what are you thinking about?
So I just saw something in here to protect, just that our recommendation isn't coming out of nowhere. Our recommendation is to make sure that we are protecting that drainage and that stormwater from, continue to address erosion sedimentation control measures. So we want to make sure we have proper access and easements to do that. And, you know, identify and continue to identify natural resources and priority protection areas. While this isn't necessarily a priority protection area, it is a natural resource that we want to make sure we have access to make sure for drainage.
And what section's that? You could
So
just beef that
that's
up.
Yeah.
6-5, page 6566.
Because you've already essentially starting that, but she's just
Right.
beefing it up a little bit.
There's probably
Yeah.
something in the POCD too that talks about town facilities and
Yeah.
protecting and preserving town. I know there's language about that. And I think that applies too if we're, preserving it. Keeping an easement so that we can get in there for
Right.
maintenance purposes.
I just to document the record, we're not just making that recommendation because we
Right.
think it's a good idea. It would be part of the POCD.
So after you get all, I mean, I think you're gonna vote on it now, right? But, and when you finalize that, send us a
We'll
copy?
email, yeah, I'll send you all a copy of it. Yeah. If you see any changes, we can So was that a motion?
Yep.
Okay.
What's the motion?
That's the motion.
I don't know where you get the motion.
So the motion that Rista made was to send a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen because it's in line with your plan of conservation and development in the ways that we addressed earlier, but with a couple of recommendations that the town retain any easements for drainage, any easements necessary for drainage, including the portion north of Nanny Drive, and retain an easement for the entire, and I'll wordsmith this a little bit more than I am right now, but for the drainage swale that runs through the property to protect against erosion and sedimentation control issues, because it's a natural resource that needs protection as per the POCD, and it's also a town facility and infrastructure that needs protection and preservation in accordance with POCD.
I think that has to be worded a positive review for the 824.
Yeah, favorable
Yeah.
recommendation.
And don't you also have to say protect the easement for Nanny Drive specifically?
We can say something about that too.
Is that an easement? I thought from what you said earlier.
I'm not sure.
Okay,
Yeah, I
that's
think
the part that's
I think that's
confusing.
up to the legal
I
counsel.
think
to
it's a
write.
right of way, but
When they do
but
time-
again.
Yeah, yeah,
time searches
okay.
on it,
That's true, the town
They'll
will
find
deal
out.
with that,
Right.
yep.
We don't care if they, as long as.
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
All in favor?
Okay, so when I get that put together, probably Thursday, I'll email it to you and go from there.
Thanks.
Okay. Number 7, other business.
No.
Did you need this
No,
roll call
6B.
vote? Because they didn't
No.
say-
6B. That's right, cottage.
Yeah, so we just wanted to have a really quick conversation with you regarding this. This is something that Jeff has dealt with, I think, a couple of times, and I don't know the specific of what may have come up in the last day or so, but cottage
I
food,
can
you
address
do?
those. I made him aware of, I believe it's 61 Birdsall Street, where people are selling flowers, vegetables. They're actually advertising, putting posters up different places. I think it's Sugar and Spice, the name of it. And I sent it to Jeff because I knew nothing. Anyways, it's in the middle of a residential area. And just asked him, we had seen nothing through planning and zoning and is this allowed with that? And he said, well, I think Shane or someone had been working with them, that they did have a cottage industry license through the state. But it doesn't meet any of our regulations, whatever they're trying to do, but I don't know. Nothing's been really explained other than that. He did send an email later today on it with a photograph and stuff.
Okay. So that's the backstory.
Yeah.
So cottage food, if you're not aware, there was, and I can't remember if that was Public Act 2129 or if it was more recent than that. I can't remember, and it looks like Rista can't remember either. I don't know, Scott, do you remember? Anyway, there's a provision in statute, and it's actually part of 8.2, which is the statute number that governs the construction of zoning regulations. You cannot prohibit cottage food industries from taking place in people's homes. And that's basically just there's certain things you can and can't do under a cottage license, but you can bake bread and you can do, make cookies and those types of things and sell them. And you have to sell them, it's a point of sale, so I can take them to your house and sell them, or you can have people come to my house and I can sell them, but it's not a wholesale, right? I can't sell my goods to the Costco distributor and distribute them that way. So it's more of a point of sale transaction. And so I think what's happening is we've got someone who has one of these licenses and has a stand out in front of their house and is selling them. So somebody pulls up and grabs a loaf of bread and puts $5 in the box and heads home. And I think the question is, do we want to put some kind of a provision in there? And I would say it's for cottage food. It's probably also for sort of home farms and people that maybe sell eggs or whatever, or vegetables in the summer, or maybe cut flowers. You see that around. Do we want to have some kind of a provision to allow those when it's not associated with a home farming permit or a farm permit? Because those two things, I think, allow those street side sales, but there's acreage requirements with those two. I think farming is over 5 acres, and I think home farming is 3 or something like that. So the question is, do we want to go down the path of creating some kind of regulation to allow people to sell their goods that they're producing at their home in the front yard?
Okay, but if they can do it, already have a right to do it under state law, and they're monitored and inspected and so forth.
I think.
What could we do? Where's
So I
their
think
spot
in
for
this
local?
case, we've got some kind of a stand, right, Peter? Or we've got some kind of a structure or a rolling cart or something like
Yeah,
that?
I'm not sure what they're doing
I
there.
went
So,
up Birdsall, I didn't see anything.
Okay.
I think it's more back to the house. The house sits quite a considerable ways back to the road from
Okay.
all the other houses.
So there's something
Yeah.
back there, and it's being
and it looked
advertised
like
that,
Stuff was being displayed on a porch or something like that,
okay.
from what I could see.
So I think the question then is, do we want to do something to legitimize that a little bit so that, I mean, there's two ways you can go about it, right? You can legitimize it and say, yes, you can have this permit and you've got to, live within these parameters and have regulations surrounding it. Or we make a phone call out to that homeowner and say, sorry, you can't do this, you can't advertise, you can't sell these things off your front porch. You need to be delivering them out to your buyers. If somebody orders 24 cupcakes, you got to drive out there and deliver those cupcakes and make it more of an order.
So under the state law, we could do that?
Yeah,
I'm looking at it right now.
You can't
so I'm
prohibit the cottage food license from being issued, but you don't have a provision for this sort of
Understood.
enterprise
Yeah.
to be advertised.
Okay.
So I live on Lovely Street, I drive by Pratt Street every day, there's this house there that was all overgrown, the people have the best flower gardens, and they have this little cart outside, and they have, flowers in a little donation bucket. I love it, I think it's so, it brightens up the place, it's so cute, it's, and so people are doing something like that, which is relatively, they're not, it's this little cart, it's small, it's on their front porch. At what point is that accessory use, right? Like a lemonade stand. At what point do we just say, and I know that it's probably not just accessory, I'm just saying, at some point, some of these are great for neighborhoods to sell the eggs, have a little refrigerator out there. I mean, they're not.
So they're growing them on their own property, then they're selling them.
Yeah, they
So
might
it's
have-
created on their own property. Where the other one's not. It's like they buy the items, then they're selling them.
I think tag sales are more invasive than what some of these people are doing.
So if you look at Birdsville, look at Pratt Street, because they have a very nice
And I
setup.
don't want you to give Pratt Street trouble, I'm not complaining.
I'm not giving anybody trouble.
I'm not complaining.
Sounds like it's Peter giving people trouble.
I
No,
don't.
No, I know. I'm
And
just-
here's
I'm
why,
just
because here's a poster nailed stapled to a telephone pole on my street, up by the lake.
So it
Okay,
looks
so
like-
that's advertising,
It's-
it's
That's
not
on
in the
Sucker,
neighborhood,
that's
it's
on
up-
Sucker Brook,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
So that's
And
right.
that's what
So
brought
that's
it
a
to my
little bit
attention,
more
otherwise I would have had
aggressive.
no idea,
yeah.
you know?
So that's different, that's extending beyond this.
Right.
I think
So I mean, if they're doing that
The intent
on
of
Sucker
this
Brook,
law.
where else are they doing this?
yeah, because it says that
There
they're,
needs to be some control.
That's what I'm saying, there must be something in
plus their
the,
home and
Yes.
kitchen.
in the state.
That, and their preparation area
No.
has to comply with local zoning laws.
Right, so
things
you
like
can
that,
have,
so-
that's the thing, you can have local zoning laws around it, you
Yeah.
just can't prohibit it entirely.
Yeah,
But I think you could prohibit, on-site sales if you wanted to, certainly
Well, how about
advertising
advertising?
off-site,
Yeah.
you can prohibit
The
that.
whole email that Jeff sent to me today and I previously sent
Mm-hmm.
to him, so.
well, I guess you have to write something up for us.
Oh my God, isn't that
Yes,
so cute?
I mean, probably
Yeah, just because there
should
needs to be, some control for signage, something,
Well, that's off-premise signage, and that, I
Right,
think we
exactly.
And
could
I think you
address
probably have a regulation on that.
yeah,
Yeah, hanging a sign on it.
yeah.
it.
What is it,
That's what
61
Jeff sent me
Birdsville?
today. What's that?
Address?
61.
61.
It's on the left side, I believe. The house sits back quite a ways from the road. It's about the only house that sits back from the road there.
Well, you go up Winchester Road, and there's that nice spot not far from the convent there, where
Oh,
they're
they
selling
got
the
eggs and wood.
Eggs and wood,
But he's got a farm.
I see.
So they're covered, right?
He
So
has a
they're
farm.
covered
He has a
automatically,
farm.
yeah.
Yes.
So it's,
You can't tell that, I mean, I just drive by it, I didn't know
Well,
it
the
was a farm
the
there.
farm is on Rugbrook Road, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's not that piece of property, but
Got it.
that's also about 5 acres, that property.
Yeah,
that he's
okay.
selling from.
and I think that's where you get into, you've got this little bit of an area that maybe we need to think about a little bit, right? So you've got You've got people that have cottage food licenses out there. You've got, you allow up to, I think you allow up to 20 chickens on small parcels that don't have that home farming permit, and they might want to sell their eggs out in front. And so they may not have that home farm permit, which allows these things, but they might have some other provision that's allowing them to do it. But, you know, nobody needs 20 eggs a day, right? They're doing something with those eggs. So,
Exactly.
so do we want to craft some kind of regulation that says, here are the things that you can do, you've got to fit within this box? Or
Well, I think it should be something that at least comes in and reviewed by staff, you know, not necessarily coming before us
Yeah.
with a formal request, but it should be something that should come into the staff.
Zoning
review
permit.
Here.
So maybe
Yes.
we just add under the home occupation section, a cottage kitchen section that requires a zoning permit. And we have, a section under home occupation that says, except for fruit and vegetables grown on premise, no display shall be visible from the street. And so maybe we use something along the lines of that, you know, except for the cottage industry that's been grown or produced or made on site. Sales should be, you know, limited to a small.
Yeah, I'm not looking to stifle business, but it isn't like a
Well, it's the advertising that's
Right.
weird,
So,
so.
so just under home occupation, like a cottage kitchen, very basic zoning permit.
Okay.
What about, farm stands?
Well, those are regulated under farms, right?
Under farm
Do you
stands,
have to have a farmed out
page
farm stand?
88.
So I know there used to be a farm stand, or at least a pull-off on Route 8, old Route 8, going up it on the right-hand
Oh,
side.
yeah, the Carbones, yeah.
Yeah, but
They're done,
they're done.
yeah.
And that was operating how? Just,
It was kind of a,
Slid
under
under
this,
the,
under
slid
the,
under the radar, they had the state
Yeah.
permit to use the property, the
Yeah.
state was taking it away from them, and there was an outcry in the
Right.
town before the Board of Selectmen, and the Board of Selectmen wrote a letter to support them.
yeah, so, but
They
they're
gave 'em-
done now
Gave 'em a
because.
permit for a state, at least it took
Right,
for a couple
but
more years.
they'll
until they
probably, there'll
retired,
never
yeah.
be another one there, that, they,
Stop
they're
using-
done.
yeah.
before I came here, I operated 3 farm stands in Middletown. And they were mobile carts, large mobile carts that we pull off, and pull out each morning, pull off every night. And the community loved it.
but you had a farm,
And I did not grow everything on site.
Uh-huh.
I bought and resold some stuff, and now my aunt and uncle continue on with it. And they buy and resell most of it.
Mhm.
They don't have the capacity to grow everything. But the community loves this stuff. I think where the point of contention exists is where we start utilizing town resources, whether it be the polls for advertisement
Right.
or the right of way, you know, for placement. And I think where we should have a concern is, you know, whether there's enough parking or pull-off area for a car, so not to create a safety risk. Lighting and signage, the advertisement, hours of operation. It was, hopefully, you know, something like this,
Yeah.
become popular, but I think we should regulate and also provide for safe.
Yes, I agree.
If it's something
did you
that's-
have regulations? Where was that, in,
Winslow.
were you aware that?
I'll take a peek again, see if,
Yeah.
but
I mean, in
know-
other words, we don't have to reinvent the wheel if there's.
Oh, we don't have to
somebody
reinvent the
doing
wheel. There's
that,
plenty
so-
of stuff out
yeah,
there
yeah.
for us to take
Okay,
from, sure.
well,
I did get
We're trying to
notice of
gauge your
violation.
interest in
Yeah,
what
yeah.
we want to do here.
Yeah.
Well, and I think we have some of it in the farm stand regulation already. You know, I think we'd wanna change it a little bit because the
Yeah,
farm
it's-
stand on a
has good
farm.
regulations there.
Yeah, a farm stand on a farm allows for a much bigger thing than what we're talking about.
It
But-
limits it to 200 square feet. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and it
birds-
has to be so far from a street line, it has to have at least one parking space, you know, like, I think it does have
Yeah.
some of that.
That's all in there, but
That's all
this
on
is
farm.
different, because it's just somebody's
all.
home.
Yeah.
Does it have to be associated with a farm? Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
that's what
what
I'm
The
saying.
language is there.
We
Yeah,
have some
yeah,
of the
yeah.
language that we can just, you know, modify a little bit to put under the cottage kitchen regulations and.
So I wonder if it's worth, so your
We don't
farm regulation, I think, allows for, right, the permanent farm stands. What I think you don't have is sort of a seasonal or a temporary farm stand provision, or these, and I'll call it farm cart, and I think you probably find that in some places, in some regulations. You don't have anything like that for these smaller vendors, like the person that's selling their flowers when they come out in July and August, or somebody who's doing eggs. And so maybe we draft up, maybe Jeff and I can go back to the drawing board a little bit. We'll draft up something for, you know, in-home occupation related to cottage food, and then maybe we also take a look at some kind of a farm cart, and we'll bring you something to review in a month or so.
Well,
Is that
like I
sound
said, they're usually
reasonable?
seasonal, but what's to say if they have the property, they bring in Christmas trees and so.
Well, that's right. It's, you know,
Christmas time or
right, you
something
get
like
tricky
that.
with, it gets tricky with seasonal, because, you
It
know,
could be
again,
other-
if you've got eggs,
Right.
there's some seasonality to
Right,
that, but you're
yeah.
gonna get eggs all year
But
long.
I think the difference is, when you talk about a farm cart, you're talking about something that's small in nature. You
Right.
bring in Christmas trees, you're talking a much bigger
Okay.
size, you know, so that would have to fall under the farm stand or the other
It should,
retail.
You could define it as strictly vegetables.
Right.
Vegetables and flowers.
right.
Right.
Yeah, but
Vegetables,
the
flowers.
state allows food.
But this is for the cottage
So that'll go under
kitchens.
the home occupation piece
Right,
that we
right, right.
look at,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, because the cottage food thing exists, we can regulate that, but we can't deny it.
Correct, you can't prohibit it, that's right.
Can't prohibit,
Yeah.
but we can put regulations in. And then, so, like, the flowers on Pratt Street. Very nice place, I mean, it's amazing, you go by there.
Yeah.
There it is.
And I haven't been by in a while, I went by and I looked and said, oh my gosh, look what she's done now. It's like the whole property.
Does
That's-
she
that-
advertise throughout
I
town?
don't think so.
She has
So
one,
what's,
one
I mean,
sign.
I'm curious about that. I didn't see anything in the state thing directing about that, but that seems to be the primary concern here.
But no business can do that, so I mean,
Right.
Jeff should go up and just take those signs down.
Right, you
because
don't, yeah, you don't
no-
have
no-
allowance
No
for it.
business can have off-site signage.
Well, I didn't say they could do it.
Yeah.
But,
She has a little stand there with, and a little sign at the stand, but no big signs.
yeah,
Nothing
and
big.
nothing elsewhere
Yeah,
in town.
it's almost like
around.
you have to know she, or see the sign when you go by there, she's
Yeah.
selling them.
But also probably not allowed, you know, by strict reading
And
and
she does, so
regulation.
they're just for donations, or just out there, stop, take one, leave donation.
But it's that kind of thing that we probably want to allow,
We
so
do.
that, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard.
you
Not
don't
to
end
be
up with a
overregulated.
complete- Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like this other one that's selling vegetables and stuff, they are bringing that in, and then that can, once people know about that, then it can blow up to be like North Main Street was.
Yep.
Constant cars going up that street trying to figure it out. But if she grew the stuff on her property and sold limited amounts, then it would be different, in my mind. I kind of do miss a big farm stand in town, because you go by Route 8 and you think about, oh geez, just pulled in there and got some, you got the corn and cucumbers and tomatoes all the time. But now it's not there. And it is missed by the community.
And it supports local,
Yeah.
other local businesses.
Yeah,
And I think part of the cottage, I think part of the cottage kitchen is that it would have to be made or grown there, or made there, right?
maybe,
Right.
yeah.
I think otherwise you get into more of a home office occupation, and now you have to come in for a special exception, and, you know, if you're having more bigger
Going by it,
retail
Doesn't
sales.
look like the stuff is grown there.
Yeah, you know, the cottage industry, and I'd have to go through and read what that statute says, because there's some provisions in there, but, you know, it doesn't, it's owner, or it's occupied, it's owned by the occupant of the structure, right? It's about, I have my kitchen and I'm using my kitchen to sell these various products. They can't have an employee, I don't think, and, you know, there's a lot to it. It has to be made there, and there's limitations on what can be made. And, you know, nothing refrigerated, nothing perishable, so it's really limited to like breads and cookies, sort of baked goods. And then I think also like maple syrup and honey and, you know, that sort of, those types of products as well. I don't think it includes canned goods. Do you either, I'd have to look
I
it
haven't
up.
looked at
I
it in
don't
a
think it
while.
does, because there's a risk of botulism and things like that. So it's really limited in what it
Yeah.
allows
They have a whole section on buttercream frostings.
for your cookies and your cakes. So what we would do is,
If you use it, if you do that, they have to test them,
right,
the state,
Right.
so.
Just a question, Jeremy, you're saying owner, What if it's a renter of the property?
Occupant.
Okay,
Yeah,
occupant.
sorry.
Okay, no, I'm just saying, because it comes up as
So to avoid any of those issues,
someone out of
what we
Hartford
would
owns
do.
that property. so.
Right.
Okay.
What we would do to avoid those issues is just strictly tie the regulation
Okay.
back to the statute. I wouldn't even get into defining it. I would just say in accordance with and cite the section of the statute so that, you know, we don't have any of those discrepancies. Okay, so we'll move forward. We'll pull something together for you all to look at. And if not, your next meeting,
Good.
the following. Okay, good. It gives us some direction.
So I have permission to rip the sign down then?
The town should do it, shouldn't they?
Well, yeah.
I'm asking the town.
Yeah.
It's out in the right of way on a telephone pole. Call Eversource.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's actually.
Wait a
on
minute,
private
you can't
property.
get them out for
Yeah, right, for
trees and
legitimate,
wires
yeah.
down.
Oh, there was a lot of Eversource trucks in town today.
Yeah, well, that's because they put up the new light pole in front of town hall today.
Oh, did they?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, they took 3 or 4 trucks to do it. They got it done.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you.
All right, so we're done with that?
Yep.
Okay, move on to number 7, other business. Anybody got you got anything else for us?
I've got nothing.
Okay, approval of minutes for September 8th, 2025, regular meeting.
Abstain?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Communications. You have anything for us?
I have nothing for you this evening.
Wow, look at the time it is, huh? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
That's what Jeremy
All
wanted
in
to hear.
favor? Okay, unanimous.
Very good, thank you. Good job. 5 after 8, 7 after 8, yeah.
Got a lot done?
Been better if we had printed stuff instead of